So while my smoked turkey wings are cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and start shredding my cheese for my mac and cheese. I am using 3 cheeses, which is mild cheddar, sharp cheddar, and Monterey Jack cheese. I normally add mozzarella, but they didn't have any, so I'm using the Monterey Jack. And I'm just gonna go ahead and grate this, and we'll be back. Now, I meant to tell you guys why I use block cheese and shred it on my own. I do not use the packed cheese that is already shredded because it has a certain wax film on the shredded cheese that already comes shredded, like by Sargento and Kraft. And it doesn't melt as well as if you just grate your cheese on your own. This cheese doesn't have that film on it that the already pre-packed packages have. So like I said, I'm just gonna go ahead and grate my 3 cheeses. Also, comment below and let me know your favorite cheese to use for mac and cheese. Do you use just 1 cheese? Do you use 3 cheeses? Do you use 5 cheeses? Just let me know. Now I have have a little bit of story time on my channel. One day I did cook a mac and cheese that was 8 cheeses. Don't ask why. I had sharp cheddar, mild cheddar, mozzarella, Monterey, pepper jack, and then I had a white cheddar, and then I had Gouda. That is 8 cheeses. Yeah. But when I tell you that mac and cheese was so cheesy and gooey and good, but will I do that again? No. Because sometimes when you mix too many cheeses, it's just too much going on to where you can't really, how they say, too much of anything is bad for you. It was to the point where you couldn't even really taste what was going on. It was good, but you couldn't really taste like the cheeses that I used because it was just one on top of another. Now 5 cheeses, yes, you can get away with, but 8, no. And the reason why I asked, do y'all use 1 cheese as well? Y'all probably think that's crazy, but some people just honestly use 1 cheese in their mac and cheese. It's very odd. Not too many people do it, but I have seen it done to where they use medium cheddar. Okay, as you can see, all my cheeses are shredded now. So I did go ahead and add some heavy whipping cream to my pan. Now I am doing a no roux mac and cheese. I don't like the flour because it makes it gritty and dry. So I'm just using heavy whipping cream, seasonings, and cheese. So now that it's getting to a boil, I'm going to go ahead and cut my heavy whipping cream. Cut the heat because you don't want the heavy whipping cream to dry out or burn. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my cheese in slowly, so like a handful at a time. So this is what I mean by using just a handful at a time. We're just going to go in like this. I'm adding a handful at a time, and I'm dispersing it out evenly. And I'm just going to go ahead and give it a nice stir. So the cheese will melt. You just got to make sure that you're adding it in slowly. So I'm just going ahead and stirring this really, really good. And now I'm going to go ahead and add another handful of cheese. Now, I know you guys, y'all were all taught probably different ways of making mac and cheese. Some people use a roux, and that normally stems from using flour. Some people don't use flour, but I like my mac and cheese this way, and they say, hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it. If everybody is loving it, why change the recipe? So I do not use flour in my mac and cheese, but to each his own. And you see it's starting to thicken up a little bit already. And the cheese is melting nice and creamy. And I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, so now once the cheese is nice and melted, as you can see, I still have a little bit of cheese still in here, but it is melting nice and smooth. And you want to make sure your consistency is not too thick, but also not too thin. So just like that. And now I'm just going to keep stirring, but I am going to go ahead and start adding my seasonings to my pan. So I'm going to go ahead and use some garlic powder. And I'm just eyeballing right now. Probably about a tablespoon and a half. Then I am going to use some black pepper. Probably about half a tablespoon. Then I am going to use about half a tablespoon of Tony's. And I'm just going to go ahead and give that a good stir. So this is how your consistency should look. Like I said, not too thick, not too thin, but somewhere in between. And I'm just going to go ahead and set this to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and boil my noodles. So for my boiling water for my noodles, I am using a little bit of chicken bouillon to add some flavor to my noodles. About a teaspoon. And then I am going to go ahead and add me some cavatappi noodles. This is what I prefer to make mac and cheese. You can use elbow noodles, but I have found the cavatappi noodles to hold the mac and cheese sauce better. But that's just preference. So I am adding about half the box. So I am letting my pasta noodles boil for about 10 minutes. I don't want to cook them to 12 minutes because they'll be too smushy. Because keep in mind, we still got to go ahead and put our mac and cheese into the oven. So since we are making a small pan of mac and cheese, I'm just going to go ahead and double this aluminum pan because it's a little bit too thin. So I am going to go ahead and season my noodles real quick as well. I'm just using a little bit of black pepper, a little bit of Tony's, and a little bit of garlic powder. Because you want to make sure your noodles are seasoned as well. Even though I did go ahead and use some chicken bouillon powder to boil my noodles in, I still want to make sure they are seasoned with the same seasonings I use for my no roux blend. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this a good stir. And now I'm going to just take a little bit of my shredded cheese. Actually, no, I'm not going to take my shredded cheese. I'm just going to go ahead and use a little bit of my sauce and add to the pan. Okay, mess. And now I'm just gonna take a little bit of my cheese, my shredded cheese, and give this a good stir. add a little bit more of my mac sauce for this for the macaroni and cheese. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and top my macaroni with this shredded cheese. Okay, and this is gonna go in the oven on 425 for 5 to 10 minutes until it is golden brown. But I am gonna go ahead and just sprinkle a little bit of paprika on the top for some color, and we'll be back. And I did go ahead and make 2 small pans. The one to the right is the cavatappi noodles, and the one to the left is the jumbo elbow noodles. This mac and cheese was the bomb. Oh my God, look at that cheese pool. The perfect amount of crust. It wasn't burnt. Also, the cheese was nice and gooey and a nice texture all the way throughout. And let me know what you guys think. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and we'll chat soon.